What's up, everybody? A little bit of a different podcast today. Podcasting from the car. First off, yes, I am parked. I am safe. We don't need to worry about that. I would never podcast and drive. Don't you worry. But if you're listening in the car, I love listening while in the car, personally, while driving. So highly recommend that. But yeah, so I just wanted to come on here quick, talk about a couple of things that are coming up. So first off, the Ripple V2s. So I mentioned them in my last podcast, but the Ripple V2s, I've been testing for about a little under 2 weeks now, give or take. Like about 2-ish weeks maybe. And yeah, I've heard a lot of the thoughts of some of the other reviewers now on their podcasts and stuff like that, as well as I shared some of my own on the last podcasts. I don't really stand by a lot of my thoughts from the last podcast. I do think they are a controllable paddle. I don't think they're any hotter than the Yola Pro 4s, personally. I would still take like a broken in 3S in terms of hotness over the Pro 4 and the Ripples. I still think the Beta Ripples, in particular the last Beta Ripple before the V2s, was way hotter, personally. I couldn't even keep a ball on the court half the time hitting with the Beta Ripple. The last one, the V1, I'm sorry, not the V1, the R1 Beta Ripple, the one with the PB Core 4344 stamp. So I wanted to talk about that. I think these current Ripples are looking a lot better. I think they're good. They're going to be $280 before discount code, I believe, with a discount code, DDOG_Pickleball, by the way. Definitely give that a try if you're looking to get some of these Ripples coming up at $530. I'll have them in the discount list. Are in a good spot. I think they're a little bit above, the 12.7 paddle techs. They're a little bit above, a lot of the other Gen 3s, and I think they're just in a good spot in terms of power so far. Again, none of mine have quote-unquote broken in, per se, or anything like that, and I haven't hit with them long enough to have a break-in yet, but in these next few weeks, I'm really dialing in on them and hoping to see if there's any change, and hoping that there isn't any, but we'll see, who knows. I currently lean the R2 shape out of the line. I've heard rumors, though, of an R5 shape, including an Instagram post from Rhombus a couple of days ago, at the time of recording this, that showed an R5 shape. And I talked with Dong from Rhombus directly, and he said that'll be a true 16x8 standard shape. So that certainly has my attention. I know a lot of the other reviewers don't really like the Rhombus handles. I love them, personally. I think they're some of the best handles in pickleball paddles right now. They're all long enough to hit a two-handed backhand, but they're not this, ergonomous, overly huge, uneconomical handle. I think that does matter. I'm a big fan of like 5.5, right on the dot, no more, per se. So I actually really enjoy the Rhombus handles, and I think that handle with a 16x8 standard shape, if it's a truly squared off at the top instead of the round standard shape, I'm going to be a big fan of that shape. So that'll certainly be a paddle I look forward to hitting with from Rhombus, as well as the current R2. I do like that shape as well. I don't know. I'm fairly used to that kind of carbon TFG 2X shape. Just minus the carbon not having a long enough handle, in my opinion. But yeah, so those are kind of my additional thoughts here on the Ripples. Definitely looking forward to continuing hitting them and moving about with them. Moving on now, I'm going to talk about, so I have a couple upcoming tournaments in June. One of them's a charity one, and then one of them is the state games, actually, one of the state games for this area. So I'm really excited for those. Finalizing partnerships. Definitely planning on playing with Justin. He might not be able to make one of them, so I might have to find a partner for that one. But yeah, I'm actually also in the market right now, kind of, for a mixed partner. You know, I do love my Tuesday sessions. I do with my buddy Dan and them and Beth and them. But we need a consistent fourth for that. So definitely in that market. Also talking about kind of some tournaments down the line in July, August. But also just looking forward to being coaching again a bunch this summer. And I recently just started grad school, so I've been really pushing through that and grinding grad school. So that's a little bit on my end on the personal side of things. And then to keep it somewhat similar to that theme, choosing a main. So I have been in a real struggle to choose a main lately. And I went through about 6 different alterations of paddle mains. Recently, I was maining the Carbon Truecomb Genesis 2X from pretty much February 1st up until like mid-ish May. And my Truecomb just feels super dead. It just feels super dead, to be honest. The spin, I'm noticing noticeable spin loss, and you know, for about 4 to 5 months of the paddle, that's good in today's standards, don't get me wrong, but you know, I'm looking back on it and it had a bit of a smaller handle than I would have liked, which I think promoted me to use my good two-handed backhand a little less. So I definitely am moving away from that. If they ever make a shape like that with a longer handle, or like a true hybrid shape similar to like a Invader or Filth hybrid shape from Bread and Butter in that true foam setup, I'm all there. I'm all for it. I'm all over that. That's like the ideal paddle shape for me, probably in layup and setup. But in the meantime, I have been experimenting a bunch. So I took the Bread and Butter Invader, which I did spend a couple of weeks maining in January. I took the Neonic Flare Prime X, the 14 millimeter, the standard shape one. I took the new Ripple V2. I took the Ripple R2 V2. I took the Ripple R4 V2. I also brought out the Bread and Butter Filth Hybrid. And at one point I was trying the Bread and Butter Filth Standard as well. Both the Filths were great. They're just a little bit too soft for my liking. The Ripples also played great, but they honestly, I just couldn't keep a ball in with them in later sessions and recent sessions, you know, to a degree. I played great with them, though, out of the box and to start. And so that makes me think they might be heating up a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell with that. But in the meantime, in regards to those, I'm kind of gearing away from those as a main. It's been in between the Neonic Flare Prime X and the Bread and Butter Invader. And I ultimately, drum roll please, am going with the Bread and Butter Invader. It's funny because when I reviewed these, I ultimately kept it stock. I just wrapped the thing with electrical tape to protect the edge guard, because edge guards still stink in today's day and age and break real easy, and I don't want that to happen to mine. So it's kind of an unconscious, self-conscious type of habit. And I ultimately went with the Invader because it felt the best. It felt the most kind of all-court, all-around paddle that I can play my game with, and that shape is just so awesome. That shape is so awesome. So I went with that shape, and then I also went with a little less protection tape, but just I'm doing the top now rather than the whole thing. I did try weight on it, and I didn't like it, and I checked it both with the weight and without on the graffiti. And without on the graffiti, with the electrical tape on, it's 114 swing weight. With the weight I added, it went up to 116. I then even tried just getting it down to 115, doing the bottom corners of the paddle, going into the throat a little, since I figured that'd be the area that would benefit it best for the Invader. And I just didn't like it, you know? So I like the Invader. I like that, you know, I feel a lot more consistent and I play better with the Invader is where I'm at with it. So I'm maining that for now, and we'll see where the rest of the summer takes us. But yeah, it's an unfortunately rainy start to our Memorial Day weekend here, but very excited to have kind of a main for now, and looking forward to trying some new paddles, stuff coming up. I was talking with Flick Weight a bit. We're going to be testing some Flick Weights coming up as well, and I've been talking with some other companies about testing some stuff coming up as well. I am looking forward to some of these tournaments, and I'll definitely keep you guys looped in on how I do and how that goes. In the meantime, be sure to look out for my Ripple review on the 30th, and definitely check the page for more fun and interesting content. All right, adios.